Welcome back, dear students. As I have started with Animal Kingdom, we have already discussed the basis for classification of animals, and they were symmetry, levels of organization, coelom, germ layers, and presence or absence of notochord. Right? Now, in today's video, we are going to actually start with the classification of Animal Kingdom and the first phyla. Okay, before that, Animal Kingdom has a lot of phyla like Coelenterata, Polyphyra, Echinodermata, Mollusca, then Aschelhelminthes, Platyhelminthes, then Annelida, all these phyla. Okay, so we will be going from lower individuals or lower animals to higher animals, right? So being the first phyla of Animal Kingdom, the phyla is phylum Porifera. Okay, the simplest one and the very lowest animals are the Poriferans. Okay, now why they got Porifera as name? Simply meaning animals which are having pores. Okay, so you can say that they are pore bearing animals. Okay, the animals which has pores, they are called as poriferans. Okay, now what are pores? Pores are nothing but they are small openings. Like you have seen sponges. Sponge has got lot of pores inside, right? So when you soak the sponge in the water, the sponge becomes very, the volume increases, right? Why? Because the water enters into the sponge. Same. Okay, these organisms are having lot of pores. That's why they are called as poriferans. And most commonly, these organisms are called as sponges. Very easy to remember. They are called as sponges. Okay. So move on to the. Okay, these are the examples of some poriferans. You can see Spongilla over here. When you will be doing the practical session, we will be showing you a specimen of porifera. Okay. So this is the Spongilla, Euspongia, and Salcon. These are some of the examples you have to remember. Moving to the characteristic features of these organisms. First thing, they are known as sponges. I told you why they are known as sponges, because they have got lot of pores inside. They are found in water, but they are found only in the sea water. They are marine inhabited. Okay, so they are found in sea water or marine conditions we see. Next, I told you when I was telling you about the basis for classification. That was, these are the animals wherein if you pass a plane from the center, they will not divide into equal halves, so they are asymmetrical. Okay, so these are the organisms which doesn't have symmetry. You can see the picture here. So this is the organism. Okay, for example, these are the colonies. Now many colonies you can see. This is also one type of organism. You cannot pass a plane from the center. Even if you pass a plane from the center, you will not get equal halves. That's why these particular organisms are asymmetrical. Okay. Then, these are the only phyla. These organisms are the only organisms wherein they are having cellular level of organization. If we check entire animal kingdom, these are the only phyla. This is the only, you can say, these are the only organisms which have cellular level of organization. Meaning, cells are not aggregated into tissues. Tissues are not aggregated into organs, meaning they don't have tissue, they don't have organ system, nothing. These are the only organisms which has cells. And all the activity of the cells like digestion, respiration or everything will be carried out only by the cells. That's why they have cellular level of organization. Very important, very peculiar characteristic feature of these organisms, they have water transport or canal system. Now what is water transport or canal system? Now these are the organisms, it has got only cells, I told you, right? Okay, the openings of these organisms, you can see the picture here. Okay, so this is one opening, second opening, third opening. So these are the openings, pores you can see. Now through these pores, water enters inside. See the arrow is being marked over here. Got it? So the water enters inside the body of organism via ostia. Remember, these openings are called as ostia. Got it? They are called as ostia. Now, water, the organism is present in the water. Now you know that water will be not in its pure form. Water will be having lot of gases inside, lot of food particles inside. Not only food particles, lot of debris also. Okay. So when water will be moving inside, water will be having food particles, all that stuff, like gases, mixed gases will be entering inside along with the water into the body of organism. Okay. So water has entered inside. Now that water will be entering into the main cavity, okay, of the organism, and this is the cavity you can see, and this cavity is referred as spongocoel. Now how to remember this spongocoel? Okay, here I am not mentioning the spongocoel. See, spongocoel. Why it is referred as spongo is simply because of sponges. Okay, and seal is nothing but coelom, and you know that coelom is cavity, correct? So this central cavity is called as spongocoel. See, I told you, water enters inside, how? Through pores, and pores are called as ostia. From ostia, water enters into the cavity called as spongocoel. Okay. Now, spongocoel are lined. Can you see this yellow color cells? These yellow color cells, okay? These are the cells which are lining the spongocoel. So, cavity, this main cavity is lined by some type of cells, and these are the cells referred as choanocytes, or also referred as collar cells. Simply, collar cells or choanocytes, okay? Now these are the cells has got some cilia-like structure. Okay, these are the cilia of flagella-like structure. Now these flagellas are moving back and you can say back and forth direction. Okay, so when the cilia is moving back and forth direction, water will be moving inside. Okay, so water will be going inside the cells also through the canals. Okay, entire body will be having some interconnected canals. So because of this movement of the cilia, water will be entering inside each and every part of the cell. Okay, each and every cell I can say of the organism, and as a result, whatever cell is required, the food will be getting, because the water has reached to that cell. For example, the exchange of gases. For example, the particular cell requires oxygen. The oxygen will be taken up from the water to that cell. Okay, so because of this, so this is helping in the movement of the water. Got it? So I told you about choanocyte. Now one entire process is done. Whatever food is required, everything, gases exchange has taken place. Now the remaining, whatever is not required. For example, food is also digested by the cells. Okay. So whatever is not required will be moving out from the opening, and that opening is called as ossiculum. See, this is called as ossiculum. So what is water canal system or water transport system? Easy way, water enters from ostia, and I told you I have, yeah. See, water enters from ostia, and the ostias are nothing but they are pores. So it will enter from ostia, go to spongocoel, that cavity, okay, and then whatever is not required, entire stuff will be going out from the opening called as ossiculum. As simple as that. So water canal system having main three parts: ostia, spongocoel and ossiculum. Water has entered from ostia, has gone to spongocoel. Spongocoel are lined by choanocytes or collar cells which are having flagella-like structure that will be moving back and forth direction. So water will be going to each cells of the body. Whatever is required, cells will be taking. Whatever is not required from the water, that water will be going out from the body via ossiculum. Okay, so this is nothing but water transport or canal system in case of this particular organism. Okay, so I told you it helps the water which enters inside, or the entire body will be helpful, or that water will be helpful for food gathering, for respiratory exchange, and as well as waste removal. Okay, all these processes will be taken place in the body of the organism. I told you the spongocoel is lined by choanocytes, that is these cells are also referred as collar cells. Okay. Moving to the next point, these organisms are showing intracellular digestion. Now what is intra? Before I tell you intra, I will tell you extra. Okay, intra meaning within, extra meaning outside. Now we human beings are showing extracellular digestion, meaning what? When we eat food, okay, we will eat through our mouth. Okay, teats are present, teats will be chewing that food, so outside, it is not taking place inside the body. Okay, now that chewed food will be going inside our stomach. In the stomach, the food will be exposed to a lot of acids, enzymes, so that food will be digested. That digested, some digested food will go to intestine. In the intestine, there will be a lot of other enzymes which will be doing the digestion activity. So everything digestion is taking place outside the cell. Okay, whereas here they don't have perfect organ, they don't have stomach, nothing. So what is happening? Whatever food particles which is going inside the cell, in the cell only digestion will take place. So in the cell, intracellular. So these are the organisms which are showing very easy, simpler form of organisms. So they won't have any particular tissue or organ. So within the cell, these activities will be conducted, right? That's why they are showing within. Okay, intracellular digestion. Now, these are the sponges which are very soft-like. Okay, but though they are soft, they are having that rigidity. They are having the strength. Now, why they have that rigidity or strength is because of some skeletal material, and the skeletal material of sponges are referred as spongine fibers, or you can say some organisms will be having spicules. Again, easy to remember. Commonly called as sponges. So, spongine fibers. Okay, so entire body will be having some fibers, and that fibers will be giving them some strength. So, skeletal material is spongine fibers. Like we have bones. Like in this particular organism, they have simple fibers. They are called as spongine fibers. Now, what are the spicules? Spicules are nothing but they are some siliceous material. Okay, and siliceous meaning the siliceous of spicules are made up of silica. Okay, some silica material which is present in this organisms. Okay, sponges. So that will be giving them some support or strength. So spicules. Remember this thing. Okay. In detail, you need not remember about the siliceous material, silica, but you should know that the sponges have got skeletal material, and that is made up of spicules, or they are referred as spicules or spongine fibers. Okay. Now these organisms are hermaphrodite. What are hermaphrodite? Individual will be having sex organs. Both the sex organs are present in single individual. The organism is referred as hermaphrodite. Meaning male sex organ, female sex organ are present on single individual. It is bisexual, having both the sex organs present in single individual. Meaning there won't be any male sponge, female sponge. Okay, the individual will be having both the reproductive structures, male sex organ, female sex organ, single, in the single individual. That's why they are referred as hermaphrodite. Okay. Now, if they have sex organs, male sex organ will produce male gamete, female sex organ will produce female gamete. So, what will happen? Since gametes are there, gametes will be fusing and will produce new individual. So, they will be showing sexual type of reproduction. Alright, so sexual mode of reproduction we can show. But apart from sexual reproduction, they can also show, sponges can also show a type of asexual reproduction, and that is fragmentation. Now you know, everyone knows about fragmentation, right? Body divides into parts, and each part can give rise to new individual. Got it? So fragmentation. Example, if you remember about some algae and all, you have already learned type of asexual reproduction, that is fragmentation. Fragments. That fragment will give rise to new individual. So they can show asexual mode of reproduction also. That is fragmentation. Next, internal fertilization. Okay, the gametes, male gamete, female gamete has fused, and that entire fusion of male gamete and female gamete has taken place inside the body of organism. Since it is inside, the process is internal fertilization. Okay, what is outside is external, but remember, sponges are showing internal fertilization. Got it? Now, though they are showing internal fertilization, they are showing one mode of development, and that development is indirect development. Now, what is indirect development? Okay. Now, everyone knows that. Okay. Female gamete plus male gamete fusing, and you will get a zygote, right? So zygote will normally divide into embryo, will give into embryo, and finally embryo will be giving rise to adult. This is the normal step. Here also the male gamete, female gamete, male gamete will fuse. You will get your zygote. The organisms will be showing zygote. Now zygote will be directly giving birth to the organism, but that organism will be not similar to the adult. Okay, like example in case of human beings, we also develop zygote. Zygote will develop into embryo, and then embryo will hatch or embryo will give rise to a birth. Okay, and that birth, or you can say the organism after birth will be, or you can say the baby which is developed will be similar to that of the adult, right? Will be similar to the adult, will be having all forms like you can say hand, legs, everything will be there. Here what is happening, the birth, the organism which is formed after birth will be completely different from that of the adult. Meaning these are the organisms which are hatching out from the zygote, okay, and they will be larvae. Or you can say in between some larval stages are shown. Larva. Okay, so larva, you must have seen larva with like caterpillars. Okay, example of butterflies, you must have seen eggs will hatch into caterpillars. The caterpillar is completely different from that of the butterfly. Same way here also, they are forming a larval stage, and that larva is completely different from that of the adult. That larva will further hatch or further metamorphose, or you can say metamorphosis process will take place, and finally will form into an adult. Got it? So in between they have larval stage, which is completely different from that of the adult. Okay, so development is indirect. Direct in case of human beings and all. Direct development. In between there are no stages which will be not resembling the adult. Here the stage is there. Larval stage. Got it? That's why the development is indirect. So with this, I am finishing with the phylum Poriferans. I told you poriferans are the pore-bearing animals. They are commonly called as sponges. They are found in marine water. Okay, and I told you they are the only organism which has cellular level of organization, right? They don't have symmetry, so they are asymmetrical animals, right? Then the other characteristic very important was water canal system. Water enters from ostia, okay, enters from ostia, goes to spongocele and moves out from the ossiculum, right? Then I have told you they are spongocele are lined by collar cells or poigocytes. Digestion is intracellular. Skeletal is made up of spicules or spongin fibers. They are hermaphrodite, meaning both the sex organs present on single individual. Reproduction can be sexual as well as fragmentation, which is a type of asexual reproduction. Fertilization is internal and they show indirect development. Okay, so with this porifera is over. In the next video, I will tell you the next phylum. Thank you everyone.